What's up, everybody? It's Bryson Carter from the Journey Podcast. Just wanted to take a minute to clear up the fact that we are not professionals, and what you hear on this podcast is just opinions from people that really inspire me, and hopefully it'll bring the same amount of inspiration to you as well. But if you legit are struggling with depression or how you feel about yourself, please go see a professional. There are professionals out there that can help you, and we are not those professionals. With that being said, I hope you guys enjoy the podcast, and hopefully you guys can take something away from it that can help you on your day-to-day life journey. Welcome to the Journey Podcast, ladies and gentlemen. I am extremely excited to bring this special episode to you this week. This episode is not like my normal episodes because instead of interviewing anybody this week, we are going to jump back in time. The theme for this special episode is the younger self question. This is a question that I ask all my guests at the end of every episode, and I cannot wait for you to hear these amazing people's answers to it. I have included every episode that I have completed on this podcast except for the first one because I messed up the audio on that one. I was still trying to figure out how to do it, so I messed it up. But don't worry, I plan on getting Rylan Thrasher back on the podcast soon. I hope you guys enjoyed the episode and stay tuned for episode number 7, which I'm hoping to drop here soon with an amazing guest. Enjoy this podcast. So if you were to meet, and this is a little hypothetical, but if you were to meet your 7-year-old self, and it was the only chance that you got, and obviously I know this changes, so just like what is it present moment that you would tell your 7-year-old self if it was the only chance that you got to give him wisdom coming forward, knowing what you've gone through and what you struggled with and the highs and the lows of your life up until this point?
I would tell a younger version of myself, don't be scared to try new things. Don't be scared of rejection. Most importantly, don't be afraid to step out of your comfort zone and try new things. Like I said, we're out of our comfort zone. If 7-year-old Ned was scared, lived in his little bubble, and he did the same thing all the time, was very scared. He was very, I don't know, scared's the word.
Yeah.
But he didn't like to try new things, didn't like to, but yeah, I would tell myself to not be afraid to try new things, to not get out of the comfort zone, so God could work with a lot more of it.
Yeah, for sure. That's really good. And
all right, well, let me go into detail because I know that not scared to try new things. I know that can be taken a lot of different ways.
oh yeah, of course.
Don't be afraid to. When I was older, I went on a mission trip. I don't know if the 7-year-old Ned could have gone on a mission trip, but 13, 14-year-old Ned probably could have gone on a mission trip. You don't know what we all think we know what we like as we're growing up, what we want to do, what our job is going to be growing up, or things we like.
Mm-hmm.
But until you step out of your comfort zone, the stuff that you're familiar with, it may be something totally different.
Yeah.
When I was 25, which was I was already had some children, it was too late for any major life changes, but I did go on a mission trip to Burma.
Yeah.
Just using this as an example, and the feeling I had, the spiritual, I'm not sure what word to use, but just the spiritual feeling that God put on me when I was over there. We didn't go to build water wells. We didn't go there to build houses. We went there just to share the gospel. And I would love for each one of my kids to experience that when they're younger, so they can make a better educated decision. Because if you haven't tried something, you don't know if you would love it. You can think that but until you try something like that, you don't know. But if instead of a 7-year-old Ned, if I can go back from there to a 16-year-old Ned, say, hey, go do that. I would probably be a full-time missionary now. I would be doing something totally different in some other country. Granted, wouldn't have had any kids, so I wouldn't know about any of this life now, but wouldn't have met you.
Yeah.
But, I would have, that's what I meant when I said I would try, get out of your comfort zone and try something new, something life-changing, not something where go drive a fancy car or something like that, but do something that's just life-changing, that can give you more reaping benefits than money you can put a dollar value on.
Yeah. All right, so this is kind of hypothetical, but it doesn't have to be. I don't know why it's just 7-year-old self. I've been saying that for the past couple weeks, but any younger version of you, what would you say to her if she were to appear one time in your life? And I know this changes, but like up until this point, what you've experienced, your highs and lows of life, what advice would you give them? Like 3 pieces of advice that you would give her before you never saw her again.
I would say always stay positive in the negative times. Like you will eventually hit a positive time, and just to keep going and not to give.
Absolutely. What would you say to those people who, because I believe what you're saying, but there's some people who are in really dark places right now that don't see a light. They hear a lot of people say will be a positive place at some point, but it's hard for them to believe that. So what would you kind of tell them?
I would tell them to keep pushing through. Even though it can be hard, you just have to keep pushing, and just, like I said earlier, like find a group of people that you feel comfortable talking about it, because if you can talk about it with others, it might be a possibility to where they can help you find a positive side to your dark time, even though you can't.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, even when I first came here in 8th grade, I really didn't know anybody, and I was also in a darker place than I am now. So I definitely I love what you said about that, because the people that I am around right now really do help me. You know, like you and Zach and Brian, Ned, who was on here last week, Rylan, who was on here the week before. It's like they can help me when you can't. You don't seem like you can get through, and God as well. I asked this question near the end of every episode, but this one I want to kind of twist it a little bit for you. So normally I ask the question, what 3 messages would you leave to your younger self if you got to see them for the first time? But for you, I want to ask you, what 3 messages do you want to leave for your upcoming son?
Oh, man, hitting it deep. What 3 messages? I would say number 1 would definitely be yourself. Find out what you like, stick to it. Don't care about what other people think. Be yourself. Number 2, don't get caught up in planning your life out, because, like I said, that'll never be what you expect it to be. That's one of the biggest things. Don't get caught up in that. It's okay to plan, but just know that it's going to change.
Yeah.
Number 3, stay away from.
Absolutely, yeah. That's a good one. Yeah, yeah, it'll mess you up, man. Yeah, that's awesome, man. Yeah, and I know that was a tough question. I appreciate you answering it. And if it's any personal stuff, I can edit it out. But
Fine.
I know I feel like when you get to a certain age, and I know I've seen it in my dad, it's more or less, they say you should always take care of your inner child at all times. But I think when you become a certain age, it becomes more about how can I make my son, or daughter or whatever, whenever you have a child, and I don't really know, so correct me, because I'm 17.
I mean, I don't know either.
Yeah, yeah. But I've seen it in my dad. It shifted from trying to focus on himself to trying to focus on having the best life for his child.
Yeah.
So it was like, I wanted to twist it for you, but also,
I could tell you it's that way with getting married too.
oh yeah,
Like after getting married, it goes from stuff that I want to what would make Summer happy, like supporting her. That's, and I've told one of my bosses here that too, is number 1 priority is making sure that my family is fed and okay.
Yep.
Like
Absolutely.
that focus, that mindset shifts when you have a family. You support them.
Absolutely. Since, it when you get to a certain age, family comes first, but also your mental and physical health. Because I feel like as a dude, you hear a lot of like songs about men who don't feel like they can express themselves and express their inner feelings, but I feel like it's very important and very crucial. And as I grow up, my goal is to make sure that I still do that, because to be good for my future family, I got to be good with me.
Yeah.
I got to be like, okay, peace of mind. Bryson, are you where you want to be right now? And then I could be the best future husband in the future, whatever I become. I don't know who I'll be in 10 years down the road. But what would you still say to your younger self? The 3 messages. And I know this changes.
The importance of finding someone that you trust to talk to is huge. For me, that's like Chris Applegate. Oh yeah, I will just lay it on Chris, and he'll lay it on me too. Like, just whatever's going on. You need to find someone. You can't keep stuff inside. That is toxic. That is bad. It will boil over. It will ruin your life. And whether that be a trained professional therapist or a friend that you trust, find someone to talk to is huge. So I guess that'd be number 1.
That was one of the best ones I've heard. That's good.
I would say the same thing to me about self-image. Find who you are and stick with it. Don't care about what other people think. And the third one I would say would be, you've done a good job from staying away from drugs. Keep doing it.
Awesome. Yeah. Really trying to get that message across. I like it. If you were to meet a younger Finley, what would be the 3 pieces of advice that you would give her before you never saw her again? And I know this changes.
Yeah.
But like at the present moment, with experiencing what you've experienced.
I'd say to my younger self to reach out more to people, because I think not just like at the age we're at, but I think at any age it is tough making that phone call to someone or sending that text to try and like make plans. I think people have a hard time doing that, and I've been definitely trying to work on that, as in just, at the end of the day, the people you love should be the people that are most important to you, and like the relationships you build will, when you're old, be the things you cherish the most.
Absolutely.
Not like your job or like anything else, how much money you had. It's more like the people who are with you when you are old and wrinkly. That's what's going to matter to you.
Yeah.
So just definitely trying to reach out to people, I'd say, is something.
Okay.
Another thing would be probably...
That's a good one.
Like, I don't think I'm like a super rebellious kid, but I definitely think I could have been more open-minded to what she said.
Yeah.
Because I think definitely like teenagers they think their parents are stupid and what they're saying, they don't know nothing. But in actuality, they know much more than you. So you don't necessarily have to agree with everything that your mom or your dad says, but just being open to what they're saying and like truly listening and not being dismissive.
Yeah.
Then even if you don't agree, you can maybe shape and form that to something you agree with, or, I think it definitely would have helped me like with some of like the mistakes I made if I just listened to what my mama said.
Yeah. Yeah, there's definitely been many moments where it was like later in life, mom's like, see, I was telling you. I was like, yeah, you're right, mom. Should have listened. But
And then maybe a final thing would be, I think something that I'm even trying to like work on now is just be more open-minded and like a little bit less judgmental about things.
yeah.
Because I've definitely tried to be more positive within the last year, because I think before I would be a lot like judgier of other people and just more like, oh, I can't believe they're doing that. They're so dumb. Like, I'm trying not to do that. I'm trying to be more understanding of why people do certain things, and even if I don't agree with what they're doing, just try and be empathetic to why they're doing what they're doing. So I'd say just, be a little bit less judgy, because the end of the day, like someone's probably judging you for something you're doing too. So it's like, don't put yourself on like a pedestal, and like understand that you're the same as everyone else. Just like,
I always do this towards the end, and it's a little bit of a hypothetical question. But if you were to meet your younger self, and it doesn't really matter like what age, just a younger version of you that was in a different chapter of life, and you are where you are now. And obviously this changes, but like with what you've experienced so far in your life, what would be the 3 messages that you would give him before you never saw him again?
Yeah. 3 messages. I can think of 2 right off the bat.
Absolutely.
Well, 1, bet on the Cubs. I'm just kidding. They did win the series. It was like a Back to the Future thing, right? No. Don't let fear hold you back.
Yeah, absolutely.
Don't let the what ifs keep you from anything.
Yeah.
Say yes. It's so easy to let your insecurities keep you from experiencing like some of the best things life has to offer. So just say yes. Don't let fear hold you back. And there are no regrets, but I would say, like, to any young person, when you're young, you have nothing holding you back or holding you to a certain place. The older you get, the more responsibilities you take on, the more tethered you are to people, to a job, to a house and a mortgage payment, all those things. So if you want to travel, or if you want to go pursue something or try something, now's the time to do it. Still, don't wait until you're 40 and be like, I kind of wish maybe I'll go start taking flight lessons, man. One of the first conversations you had with me telling me that you were thinking about doing that, I was like, God, maybe I should go get recertified. That was my dream. That was my goal in life. But God had another plan, I guess.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and the paths change a lot more than, especially like what I see now might not be where I end up, but you gotta jump in somewhere. So
Yeah. Again, my wife, in her infinite wisdom, she said, the moment we plan and we start praying and asking God for that plan to work out, He's just going to start laughing, because
I did that.
It's God's plan. It's not our plan.
Thank you for listening in this week. If you like this episode, make sure to subscribe to me on YouTube by searching up brysonray.com, all lowercase, or just typing in The Journey Podcast. Also, make sure to follow me on some of the biggest platforms for podcasts, such as Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and Amazon Music. I hope y'all have a great week. Let's crush it, and I'll see y'all soon.